G'day there, Andrew from Cellcology. Um, I've been doing a fair bit of work lately, really looking at um, startups in the SaaS and tech space, and more importantly, kind of looking at how they move from intention to momentum. And most startups are built on intention. So intention to change how something's done, intention to grow fast and win a market, the intention to create something valuable enough to attract customers and investors alike. But the reality is, intention isn't momentum, and momentum is really what happens when good ideas meet repeatable systems. So it's what keeps revenue flowing when the founder isn't on every call. It's what sustains confidence through funding cycles and market shifts. And momentum, especially in sales, is where a lot of startups stall. So in the early days, or why I kind of see why sales gets left behind really is in the early days, founder led sales feels like a superpower. You've got the urgency, the product knowledge, and the conviction that buyers respond to. But what feels like traction is usually intuition, and intuition doesn't scale. So the common points, I guess, what we see again and again across startups is, really every deal is handled differently. There's no process that others can follow. Growth is really dependent on the founder, so they essentially become the bottleneck. New hires or non-sales staff that are expected to, are expected to figure it out without tools, process, or coaching. And probably one of the bigger ones is there's no clear ICP or ideal client profile, so time's really wasted chasing poor fit leads. Now, look, these aren't signs of a broken company. They're natural friction points when sales hasn't been designed to scale. And for founders, this creates an unsustainable model. You can't build product, raise capital, and drive vision while also carrying sales on your back. So for investors, it's risk. A company without a repeatable sales system struggles to convert early traction into predictable revenue. Sales highs churn, milestones slip, and capital gets burned, cycling back to the founder. So essentially, back where we started. Um, so the unlock really comes when you treat sales with the same discipline you bring to product, right? Like you wouldn't build engineering without sprints or workflows or Q&A. Sales deserves the same scaffolding. So you know what that means is codify what works. Capture that founder intuition into a process others can follow. Define your ideal client profile with precision. So know exactly who you're targeting, why, and how they buy. Build rhythm. So how do we do reviews? How do we do follow-ups? How do we find coaching moments that make activity repeatable? um, Enable capability. So, give your people tools and frameworks so they can sell confidently, not just wing it. And, really link process to outcomes. So make sure your message about customer success your message is about customer success, not product features. So, look, startups don't fail because they run out of money. They fail because they run out of momentum, and nowhere is momentum more fragile than in sales. So, here's the question: if you stepped back for a month, would sales still move forward? If the answer is no, that's a pretty big signal to it's time to look at and build structure. Because look, in the shift from intention to momentum, structure isn't optional. It's actually the foundation for predictable, sustainable growth. Now, if you can recognize some of those elements, or you feel like a lot of that resonates and hits, please, feel free to reach out, book in a consultation. Happy to kind of talk through what's worked in terms of supporting startups, really get that repeatable sales structure and rhythm and success in place. So thanks for listening. Speak soon.